a history, meaning like there's more of what I went through, and I didn't want this part to be part of something that I didn't handle, like as far as like just finishing it up and closing that seal of the story, if I'm not confusing y'all. So I couldn't find a church for a very long time. Then one time I did find a church, and it was in on State Street. I forgot the name of it, but it was right across the street from the KFC. I had went there maybe like 4 months or so, every Sunday, gave money, didn't learn anything what they were talking about because they weren't really reading nothing. It was more of their own feelings and what they think God would approve of. To sit there and read something and take your time in explaining it, it was rare in these churches. But they made sure they passed out those like baskets for you could put your tithes in, because God wants money. And I'm being sarcastic when I say that. Anyways, so I did a lot of supporting in that, of course, just like I did with the Hebrew Israelites, which I'll get to that part soon. And of course, when I was in need, when I was in crisis, I could never find somebody that would, support me through all that. And I'll be in detail, because some people will give you 2 minutes of their time and think they gave you their whole time. Some people will call you once or twice a month and think that they have been checking in on you, who's supposed to be somebody that calls themselves sisters and brothers, even in churches. So during that period of time, I had made a friend who I thought was a friend, and it was a lady. Her name was Pamela Lumpkin. She was an older lady, like in her 50s or something, early 50s. And she took a big interest in my daughter, who was at that time 2.5. And she knew I was vulnerable. She knew I had no family because I grew up in foster home, and just a lot of bad luck was happening to me. Just not having that right support. That's why I turned to the church, so I can have that support. But the lady already had intentions the minute she seen me. And she was very interested in my 2-year-old. So she befriended me just to be able to do what she wanted to do to me with my children, my child at that time. So I'm trying not to be so long, y'all, but I want to make sure I give you all the details. So then at one point I had called her, and maybe I shouldn't have, but who hasn't done this in a situation where I'm an adult, I'm not a child. So I was home alone, and with my 2-year-old.